The browser war's first casualty, Netscape's rapid rise and fall. In 1993, a casual meeting between Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark set the stage for a technological revolution. Andreessen, fresh from the success of co-developing the Mosaic browser, found in Clark a kindred spirit with a vision for the web's potential. Clark, drawn by Mosaic's promise, agreed to fund a new venture with Andreessen, leading to the birth of Mosaic Communications Corporation in Silicon Valley. However, an early hurdle emerged. The University of Illinois objected to the use of the Mosaic name. Undeterred, the team rebranded as Netscape Communications, with their browser soon christened Netscape Navigator. This wasn't just a new name, it signaled a bold direction. Announced in October 1994, Navigator was initially made free for all non-commercial users, propelling it into the hands of a burgeoning internet audience. By allowing users to view web pages as they loaded, Navigator transformed the online experience, especially for those with dial-up connections. This innovation, alongside a savvy licensing approach, positioned Netscape as the web's de facto standard. Yet, as Netscape climbed to dominance, a formidable adversary began to stir, a challenge that would test the very foundations of its meteoric rise. Netscape Navigator's rapid page display redefined the browsing experience in the 1990s. Unlike its predecessors, which demanded patience as users waited for entire pages to load, Navigator introduced an innovation that transformed web surfing. Text and graphics appeared incrementally as the page downloaded. This feature made the web accessible and more engaging, especially for those tethered to sluggish dial-up connections. In seconds, users could begin reading content, while graphics continued to materialize, a revolutionary leap that crowned Netscape the browser of choice. In its quest for technical dominance, Netscape Navigator launched several pioneering features: cookies, frames, JavaScript, and proxy auto-configuration. These enhancements, while eventually standardized, initially set Netscape apart as a leader in browser innovation. Critics, however, accused Netscape of imposing its own standards rather than fixing software bugs. Yet, the allure of its advancements overshadowed such critiques, ensuring Netscape maintained a commanding market share across diverse operating systems, from Windows and Macintosh to Unix-based platforms. This remarkable ascent was not without its shadows. As Netscape basked in its triumphs, another force quietly strategized, poised to reshape the battleground. Microsoft, with its bundling of Internet Explorer in Windows, loomed as a formidable opponent, a challenge that would soon threaten Netscape's empire. TEM, envisioning a world where the internet would be at the core of computing. But then, in a swift and calculated move, Microsoft unleashed its strategic weapon. By embedding Internet Explorer directly into the Windows operating system, it offered users an inbuilt alternative to Netscape Navigator. This seemingly innocuous bundling presented a monumental challenge for Netscape. Suddenly, every new Windows machine came preloaded with Internet Explorer, turning what was once a standalone product into a default choice for millions of users worldwide. The effect was immediate and profound. Netscape's user base, once thriving, began to erode. The company, once the darling of the internet age, found itself grappling with a new reality. This was not just a battle of browsers. It was a struggle for survival against a titan with deep pockets and a ubiquitous operating system. The move would later be scrutinized in a high-stakes antitrust trial. But for Netscape, the damage was already done. As Internet Explorer gained market dominance, the once unassailable Navigator was left fighting to retain relevance. Yet in this unfolding drama, amid the mounting pressures and waning influence, whispers of a new beginning began to circulate. Amidst its meteoric rise, Netscape Navigator grappled with an unexpected adversary: its own success. Pioneering innovations such as on-the-fly page display and JavaScript reshaped the digital landscape, yet they sparked a heated debate over web standards. Critics accused Netscape of bypassing open standards, pushing instead for its own de facto standards that left competitors scrambling to keep pace. Perhaps most contentious was the introduction of cookies, tiny data packets that powered personalized web experiences but simultaneously triggered alarms over privacy. These innovations, while revolutionary, risked alienating purists intent on web openness. Yet, for the bustling marketplace of the 1990s, these concerns seemed marginal. Netscape maintained its dominance with more than 50% usage share, offering a browser that looked and performed consistently across a spectrum of platforms. But as the digital realm continued to evolve, the strain between innovation and standardization would become an Achilles heel for Netscape. Even as it seemed secure in its leadership, the seeds of its decline were being sown. The very innovations that propelled Netscape to the forefront began to erode its standing, setting the stage for an unforeseen rivalry that would redefine the web browser landscape. As the digital landscape evolved, Netscape sought to expand its horizons. In 1997, the standalone Netscape Navigator transformed into the more comprehensive Netscape Communicator Suite. This ambitious bundle offered integrated email, news, and web browsing capabilities, anticipating the multi-functionality that would become standard in the software industry. Yet, even as Netscape Communicator aimed to solidify its hold, a formidable adversary loomed large: Microsoft's Internet Explorer. Microsoft's tactical maneuver was simple, yet devastatingly effective, bundling Internet Explorer with its ubiquitous Windows operating system. This strategy deftly tilted the balance, turning a once open field into a battleground where Netscape's dominance was incrementally chipped away. By embedding its browser into the DNA of personal computers worldwide, Microsoft secured a foothold that seemed unassailable. The tides were shifting. Netscape's user base dwindled, and by around 2003, its presence had nearly vanished. The courtroom battles that followed revealed the true cost of Microsoft's strategy, with rulings affirming anti-competitive practices. Yet for Netscape, the judgment came too late, overshadowed by lost ground and fading relevance. Still, amidst the waning days of Netscape's prime, seeds of transformation were quietly being sown, hinting at a new era in open-source development. As the dust settled, the Mozilla project emerged from Netscape's remnants, poised to rewrite the rules of the browser wars. With the Mozilla project quietly taking root, Netscape's story was not yet ready to fade into obscurity. Instead, it became the central piece in one of the most significant antitrust trials in history. At the heart of the courtroom drama was Microsoft, a behemoth accused of monopolistic practices. The core of the case, Microsoft's strategy of bundling Internet Explorer with its ubiquitous Windows operating system. For Netscape, this tactic was devastating. Once the dominant browser, Netscape Navigator's share plummeted as consumers, lured by the convenience of a pre-installed browser, flocked to Internet Explorer. The court ruled that Microsoft's bundling strategy was not just aggressive but illegal, confirming that it had indeed abused its monopoly power. Yet the victory in court came too late for Netscape. By the time the gavel fell, Internet Explorer had already entrenched itself as the dominant browser. The damage was irreversible, and Netscape's heyday was already a memory. As the antitrust battle concluded, a new chapter in Internet history began to unfurl. Driven by open-source innovation and a brewing competition that would redefine the digital landscape. But even as the antitrust decision spotlighted Microsoft's dominance, it did little to resurrect Netscape's fading presence. In a bid to rejuvenate its legacy, Netscape shifted the development of its browser engine to the open-source Mozilla project. This transition, marked by a complete rewrite of the engine's source code, was a bold experiment in collaborative digital innovation. Mozilla's promise was vast, yet the effort to reforge Netscape's identity through open source was fraught with challenges. The brand that once defined navigating the web was now a whisper amidst the cacophony of emerging technologies and competitors. By the time AOL released Netscape Navigator 9 in 2007, the browser wars had all but concluded, and Internet Explorer held the crown. Netscape's brief reappearance was a nostalgic nod, yet it was more echo than renaissance. AOL's eventual cancellation of development on December 28, 2007, was a final curtain in a saga of missed opportunities and relentless competition. As the last security updates rolled out by March 1, 2008, Netscape's story seemed a relic of an internet age defined by innovation and intrigue. Yet nestled in its open-source offspring, Mozilla lay the sparks of a future browser, poised to challenge norms once again. In 2007, AOL sought to breathe life into a dormant icon, releasing Netscape Navigator 9. This revival of a brand that once reigned supreme was meant to evoke nostalgia and reclaim a sliver of its former glory. Yet, it was a fleeting resurrection. AOL pulled the plug on development just months after the launch, announcing the cessation on December 28, 2007. While AOL committed to security updates until March 1, 2008, Navigator 9 would be Netscape's swan song, quickly relegated to the archives. The challenges were monumental. Internet Explorer had solidified its position, dominating the browser landscape, a task made easier by its seamless integration with Windows. The antitrust case against Microsoft, which condemned this bundling as monopolistic, unfolded too late to rescue Netscape. The world had moved on, and Netscape Navigator, once a symbol of the open web, was now a fading memory. Yet, amidst the closure, a new chapter in browser history was quietly brewing. The code and ethos of Netscape lived on through Mozilla, seeding the potential for a successor that would soon challenge the giants anew. As one era closed, another was poised to begin, setting the stage for a browser that would redefine the digital landscape. TEM for delivering software updates, a precursor to methods now standard in modern browsers. But Netscape's most enduring legacy lies in its contribution to the birth of open-source software. When Netscape made the bold decision to release its browser's source code to the public, it laid the groundwork for the Mozilla project. This open-source initiative eventually led to the creation of Firefox, a browser that would challenge behemoths like Internet Explorer and later Chrome. Netscape's introduction of JavaScript revolutionized web interactivity, enabling dynamic content that transformed static pages into engaging experiences. The browser also pioneered the use of cookies, frames, and proxy auto-configuration, features that have since become integral to web browsing. While the innovations of Netscape have been overshadowed by its rapid descent, the company's vision has undeniably shaped the internet as we know it today. By pushing boundaries and embracing open standards, Netscape catalyzed a digital revolution that continues to influence web technology. Yet, as we reflect on Netscape's journey from dominance to obscurity, one question remains. How might the internet have evolved differently had this trailblazer not been eclipsed so swiftly?